Hello everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Mechanic Escape, which is a new platform on Steam available now from Slak Games. I am not sure at the time of the recording what the price will be, but I will throw a link in the description to the game so that you can go check that out for yourself. But I am going to jump in here and see what's going on with this game. Alright, so this is actually World 2. I'm going to do a couple levels in World 1, I think. Maybe just kind of run through a few of these and show what's going on. So, as soon as this starts up anyways. Alright, so we are the little robot. I am playing with my Xbox 360 controller. I know that you can also play with keyboard and mouse, but being that it's a platformer, I felt better using a controller. So, as you can see, we can jump, we can double jump, we can kind of slide down walls, swing on ropes. This does a really nice job of kind of quickly going over everything. As you can imagine, lasers are bad for us, and this is sort of the way that every level will play out, is we'll have a section where we will have whatever the chapter's boss is chasing us. And there are 4 chapters, each of 20 levels, and each one has a different boss. And that is really kind of the basis of what's going on here. So it starts out really easy, but as you saw, I have finished the first world and just started the second world, and things are already pretty difficult. So I think what I'm going to do is probably try and do like the last few levels of World 1 here. I just wanted to do that to show off. The gold stars are ones where I've gotten everything. White stars are not, so you can kind of choose to do that, and doing that will unlock outfits. So maybe I'll play as the little pink one now. So maybe I'll start at like 18. So as far as the gameplay goes, so the important things with platformers, of course, are the controls. And if I was going to compare this to anything, it would probably be to well, I didn't play Rayman Legends, but I did play Rayman Origins. I believe that's what it was called. And this definitely feels a lot like that. Just in terms of, you know, it's kind of got that everything is a really fluid motion, and if you just kind of keep going, chances are you'll be okay. And that's kind of the mentality we're going for here, is that, you know, if you keep holding right or holding left, whichever way you're supposed to go, and jumping when you need to, chances are you'll be okay. So, you know, that's kind of nice. Basically, I mean, getting compared to the new Rayman games is pretty huge. You know, it definitely means that these guys have, guys and gals, I shouldn't presume anything, of course, but they definitely have their handle on kind of what a platformer like this should feel like. You know, it's not Meat Boy, and that's because this isn't like Meat Boy kind of platforming. This is definitely like Rayman style. I jumped too early there. Rayman style kind of run through the levels sort of platforming. Oops. Yeah, it does keep track of how many times we've died. And the developers have kind of touted the game as being really, really difficult. Like, they've basically said, like, the first 2 worlds you're probably going to be okay to get through, and then sometimes you will be driven to rage quitting with worlds 3 and 4. And that's either going to be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your viewpoint of it. You know, if you're someone who likes, you know, Meat Boy levels of difficulty in your platformer, then this is, you know, definitely going to appeal to you in that sense. There are branching paths, as you can see. Typically they're just to get something extra, like that one is. You know, the nice thing is I never really felt like I was losing because of controls, which is nice. Occasionally it gets a little frustrating that there are no checkpoints in levels, so every level is just a straight through. You have to make it all the way through, or you don't make it through anything, basically. So that's how that plays out, but you know, that's fine. The levels aren't ever too long. You know, and it kind of has that thing to it that I like, where it gives you the time that you've spent on the level, but at the same time, you know that like the time it takes you to complete a level is far less than like the real world time it took, because you know, while a level may only be a minute long, maybe I spent 10 minutes of it, you know, on it, like dying over and over, that kind of thing. And that's, you know, that's kind of nice to see. But you know, in terms of like the actual gameplay, it is very good. The controls are, for the most part, pretty tight. If anything, I would say that maybe I've got a problem with occasionally, like the character's hitbox doesn't feel quite right. Like sometimes I'll get hit by something and it doesn't really feel like I should. But you know, that hasn't been like too consistent of a problem, so I'd say for the most part that's okay. I'm not really going to worry about those. But yeah, I mean, overall it's definitely a, you know, it's a good platform. The controls are pretty tight. It feels nice, and it plays nice. And it's definitely got the difficulty factor there for anyone who's looking for that. In terms of like other respects, the art, you know, I think it looks pretty good. It's, you know, it's got its own kind of art style to it, and I appreciate that. It's not necessarily like an art style that I particularly like. Wow, that was weird. I have no idea why I flew like that, but that's okay. But you know, it's an art style that's got a lot of heart. You know, it feels really cartoony, and that's fine. You know, and the characters have like nice little animations. They're pretty cute. That kind of stuff. But you know, like I said, it's not necessarily my favorite kind of art style for a game, but it, you know, it definitely stands out against a lot of other games, and I think that's definitely going to help it out. And from a music perspective, the music is pretty good as well. I've found myself enjoying the music so far. It's not necessarily like a soundtrack that I would want to listen to over and over again, but it's pretty good. So this is kind of our end of chapter 1 little scene here, heading into chapter 2. So that was our boss. And I wanted to do this because this way, pretty soon here, we will start in on levels that I have not seen before. Yep, I am ready for chapter 2, Electric Swamp. Alright. Yeah, so you can see things already get much more difficult right away. And, you know, I like that. I mean, so most people can probably get through the first 25% of the game. It's going to take a decent amount of skill to get farther than that. Oh, goodness. And I like that. I think that's a nice way to do it. You know, you give people a nice little taste, and, you know, you will know after the first chapter whether it's something that you are going to want to put your time into or not. And I could definitely see myself using this as kind of a, you know, a fun little platformer to play every now and again. Like I said, it does really feel like the new Rayman games, which I haven't played the newest one, but I absolutely loved Origins, and it's definitely just got that kind of feel to it. And it's a little hard to explain that feeling, I guess, but it's definitely a good thing. I guess if I was going to explain it, the best I could do would be to say it's got an always moving kind of feeling to it, which doesn't really provide that much context. I mean, it almost feels like the levels are auto-scroller, but they're not. Like, it doesn't scroll for you. It's just that, like, most things, like most of the jumps and stuff like that, tend to work out better when you are constantly moving. which feels nice. You know, it feels like the levels have all been play tested a lot to get that feeling across, and I like that. You know, it means that there's kind of been a lot of dedication put into these levels here, and I can definitely feel that. Okay, made it through that time. Jump on here. Jump, go up please. Thank you. Oh gosh. Oh, so you can see that each of our bosses, and I haven't played them, but I've seen videos of the other bosses. They all tend to, they're pretty similar in that they still chase you, but they all add a little something that like the last boss didn't do. Okay, that part has been a little iffy, and I'm not sure if that's my fault or not. Chances are it is, but like I said, I have occasionally had issues with the character's hitbox, so... Oh yeah, weird. I think sometimes... Oh my goodness, that's so bad. I'm hoping I can get through this level, but this is probably about where I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, I guess like the weird thing about doing videos of platformers like this is if it's bad, you've got a lot to say. If it's good, I mean, there's not too much I can tell you here. Like if it looks good to you, well, it plays as good as it looks. That's about all I can really tell you. I'm having a good time with it. Looks like I unlocked another skin, so maybe... Oh, I guess I would have to go to the menu to pick an outfit. That's okay. Oops. Didn't quite jump far enough there. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as platformers go, it's a pretty good one, especially considering how sort of saturated the platformer market is. I mean, platformers are practically a dime a dozen now, and I would say that out of a lot of the ones that have been released somewhat recently, this is a very good one. I can easily recommend this to anyone who likes platformers. Keep in mind, it's certainly not the easiest platformer. You will die a lot, and keep in mind that, of course, no checkpoints. So that is a lot of times where the difficulty comes from. Not only are things fairly difficult, but you have to do it all in one go every single time. So, definitely a bit of a challenge there. But if you are up for the task, I would say, go for it. I'd say pick it up. Like I said, I'm not sure how much it costs, but I don't really want to make any sort of generalizations about the cost. So, I'm not going to. It looks like I actually got 100% on that level. Cool. So, that is where I'm going to wrap this one up. Like I said, pretty easily recommended if you are a fan of platformers. Definitely does a lot of good things. Pretty nice art style, pretty nice music, and the gameplay is fun, albeit, a little tough, but they are not shy about that at all. So, just know that going in, and I think you will be fine. So, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you would like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day, and if you liked my look at Mechanic Escape, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot, and I appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.